Donna.
Hi, Jane.
You know, I thought that today we would do the daily routine. This is a multiple segment exercise that really taps into all the different energy systems in one kind of flow of several postures. And so we're going to do this. I learned this from Donna Eden when I certified in her energy medicine. And this is the go-to place on a daily basis to get our energies strengthened and balanced so that we can face the day. So what I like to do, first of all, before we do energy exercises, what I like to do is I like to have a little bit of water, just so that we hydrate, because this is part of how the energy flows and maintains its balance. So let's just have a sip of water.
Fantastic. This sounds wonderful.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And next I like to find a comfortable, solid stance. So I usually suggest that we stand about hip width apart on our feet, tuck in our tailbones, and then allow ourselves to just have some nice, easy breaths. Just kind of settle in. And the first energy exercises in the daily routine is called the Three Thumps. So we're going to be tapping 3 different areas of our torso. And we're going to start just below our collarbone. So if you trace your collarbone down to the U in front, drop about 1/2 inch. We're going to start tapping here. This is the end point of the kidney meridian, the 27th point of the kidney meridian. And this really allows us to have full vitality because it moves that energy through that riverbed of the meridian. And also remember to have nice, easy breaths as you're tapping. Do 10 to 15 seconds. And then we move into our breastbone right here at the thymus, and we begin to tap the thymus, and this invites our immune system to activate. All right, defend us today. Yes. And then moving out bilaterally to either side of the breast at the rib cage. This is the spleen neurolymphatic. Neurolymphatics are known to be able to move toxins to the waste systems of the body. And the spleen is also considered the mother ingredient. Yeah, so it's metabolizing not only food but also life coming at us. So that's the first position of the daily routine. That was wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so Anna, this is going to be the second exercise of the daily routine. And there are actually 2 different versions of this. This is called the Wayne Cook posture. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be crossing in multiple areas of the body, actually crossing this main meridian, crossing that meridian line.
Okay.
And so one of the things that we do is we start with one leg over the knee, okay, with the ankle on the knee. And what you want to do is you want to put the hand that is on that side around your ankle. And with this other hand, we want the palm to the ball of our foot and wrapping around to our toes. So we're touching multiple meridian points, both on our ankles and our toes, and we're also crossing the meridian line. And what we do now is we take 3 nice easy breaths. And as we take those easy breaths, we really kind of come up a little bit into full posture rather than bending over, and then release. And there's never any rush to this. 2 breaths. And then 3 breaths. And then we switch. Okay? So ankle to the knee, same as the foot on the floor, up around the ankle. The palm of our hand to the ball of our foot, wrapping around our toes. And again, 3 nice easy breaths. And then place your foot on the floor. And one of the things we do is we kind of steeple our fingertips, okay? And we can put our thumbs either to our forehead, our heart, or our navel, anywhere along this mid-meridian point. You can take 3 nice easy breaths. And this position, this Wayne Cook position, really allows us to kind of move out of scattered thinking It also helps us de-stress. Also, if you're feeling a lot of tension or anxiety or cravings, this is an excellent one to use. An alternative version of this is to cross our ankles, cross our hands to the front. That's right, and we put our palms together and bring this up to your chest. And take 3 nice easy breaths. Again, this is about, just really brings down the stress and tension. We feel more open, we're able to accommodate, assimilate new information, so it makes learning more easy. Yeah, nice easy breaths. And then what we do is we switch, crossing the other way with our ankles, crossing the other way with our hands. Again, bring it up to our chest, 3 nice easy breaths. Nice and easy. There's such a lovely, lovely calming effect with this. So that's the Wayne Cook posture, and also an alternative for that. They very often call that the Cook's hookup. So Anna, today we're going to do the cross crawl. And this is one of my favorites because I tend to sometimes run into periods during the day where it's almost like I hit a wall. And it occurred to me in learning this technique that one of the things that was happening for me is that my energy was starting to become stagnant. And as I mentioned in the introduction, energy wants to flow, it wants to cross, it wants to move, and when it becomes stagnant, it almost is of greater effort to kind of move through life. So what we're doing with the cross crawl is we're actually very intentionally moving the energy in a crosswise progression as we lift our knees, okay?
Okay.
And so always let's take a sip of water, get ourselves hydrated. Keep that energy nice and hydrated so it'll move. And then finding that position where we have our feet hip width apart so we have a stable position, tucking our tailbones in. And what we're going to do is we're going to lift. Well, I'm going to start with, we're going to do it the same sides to begin with, because very often, like for myself, I'm in stagnant energy. And so what I do is I start the exercise where my energy is. So it's really, kind of in parallel lines. So I'm doing same knee, same hand, same knee. And we do, 10 to 12 of these. And then we take a nice easy breath in through our nose, out through our mouth. And this is where we can begin to shift the energy and change the energy. So I'm going to do opposite hand to knee. Okay. There we go.
I can feel that.
Yeah. And very often I find that when people are in stagnant, what we call homolateral energy, very often they can't find which hand to put the
Yes.
knee on. They feel very, very flustered with that. So we do 10 to 12 of these. Take a nice, easy breath. If that was difficult, in other words, if you were kind of getting mixed up, go back to the same thing. Same hand, same knee. 10 to 12 of these. Take a nice, easy breath. And then we want to cross over again. Because this is where it happens. This is where the energy is moving. That's right. It's where it's crossing over. I very often like to think of energy moving in figure eights or infinity signs. It wants to move big. And take a nice easy breath. And if you have time, do it again. There'll be no stopping you now.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah. Nice, easy breath. And there we are.
Dr. Tina.
You're welcome. So today I want to show you what is known as the NeuroLymphatic Massage. The neural lymph system is an energy system within the body that moves only when we move or when we massage the body. That's the only way that the lymphs really are able to activate and move things efficiently and effectively. That's why it's so important that we maintain our activity levels. And this particular massage really assists that, okay, kind of moving the toxins, moving them to the waste systems within the body. Very, very simple, straightforward techniques. What we're going to do is we're going to be moving along the neural lymph system from our collarbone down through the trunk of our body and then down the inside and outside of our legs. Each of these lymph places that we're going to be massaging, each of these locations is directly tied to an organ system of the body, just like each of the meridians are tied to a specific organ system of the body. So the energy that we're activating really cultivates that kind of healthy, energetic environment for that system. So as always, and especially with the neural lymph massage, we want to have water before and after. And as always, these can be done sitting, standing, lying down, but I like to do this standing up just for the demonstration so you get the full sense of where the body, where the lymph system is in the body and the neural lymph system is in the body. So find yourself in that comfortable position where you're hip width apart with your feet. Tuck your tailbone in just to stabilize yourself. I want you to be stable.
Thank you.
Always. And we're going to start with just below the collarbone.
Okay.
Just below the collarbone. And I want you to take your fingertips and really massage deeply around the collarbone. Just back and forth for a moment. Okay? And then as we move to the center, and what we're doing is we're making just tiny circles, gently but firmly, tiny circles. And then down your breastbone. Okay, all the way down the breastbone. And then to either side of the breastbone. Either side of the breastbone. This is the lung. Okay. We also want to do the arm attachments. These are, if your arms were sewn onto your body, these would be where the lymph tends to be. And we want to do it from the shoulder all the way into your armpit. Don't be shy.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And then we do underneath the breasts. And notice how some of these places can be really, really very tender.
Yes.
Yeah. I notice underneath the breast can be tender. We also do the spleen, which is right underneath the armpits on the rib cage. This, for many of us, myself included, is very, very tender.
Yes.
And that's because the spleen is opposite the stress meridian, which is called a triple warmer. We'll go into that in another talk. But it balances it out. And so very often when we've been stressed or we're tense, this will be enormously tender. And then we go right underneath our rib cage. Press in. And it comes like in a U here.
Yes.
And just allow ourselves to have a full massage. Okay. That's right. That's right. And then around our navels, because this is where the adrenals are. Right around your navel. Good. And then we move down, almost like you were doing those circles, right down the seam of your hands to your knees, from your hips to your knees. This is the large intestine. Sometimes I suggest that people do this twice, because this can be really, doesn't feel good.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And then to the inside of our legs, the inside seam, the pericardium and the small intestine are activated by this. I know. And we also like to do on the pubic bone, because this is the bladder meridian. And then we take a nice easy breath, release it fully, and after we do a NeuroLymphatic massage, always, always double up on your water, because you've just loosened the lymph system and you've loosened the toxins. We want it to go to the waste system. So by flushing it out with water is exactly where we need to be.
Wow, that felt amazing.
I know. You feel bright-eyed.
I know. It was awesome. Thank you.
Good. You're welcome. Anna, now we're going to do what's called the crown pull. This is working on a totally different energy system within the body, the neurovasculars. These were first discovered back in the 1930s by a fellow by the name of Dr. Bennett. And what we're doing is we're really looking to increase the blood flow intracranially. Because when we get stressed out, as we've talked before, much of the blood flow leaves the prefrontal cortex. So what we're looking to do is really allow that to maneuver itself in a way so the blood flow is moving more efficiently and more effectively. And also what this does is it also allows us to move out of the survival stance that we might be in with tension and anxiety so that we can take in new information, or that I can really operate out of my personal best in a situation that maybe is producing some angst or anxiety. So very, very simply, we're going to take a sip of water, as we always do. And because we're standing, we're going to find that stable position of our feet hip width apart, tuck in our tailbones, nice easy breath for a moment. Good. And we're going to start with our foreheads. We're going to place our fingertips gently on our foreheads. And we're going to press in ever so slightly but firmly and pull out to our temples as we take nice easy breaths and just kind of maneuver that off. And then we go to our hairline. And I tell people, if you're worried about your do it in the field. Yeah, but you'd be surprised because some people don't want to mess their hair up. But start then at your hairline, moving down to your ears. And again, just nice, easy movements, just kind of letting it flow off, all the way back down the backs of our heads. So as I'm moving to the back of my head, I'm really moving toward my ears in this kind of direction. So good.
Oh, it does.
Doesn't it?
It's
Just
amazing.
kind of moving it off. And then move into your shoulder blades. Take a nice easy breath, exhale fully, and pull off that energy. Let it go. Yes. Wow. The crown pull. Doesn't that feel
That
good?
is awesome.
Yes.
I really love that. It releases a lot of the tension too, if you've got a lot of neck tension.
Absolutely. This is a good one if you're
Shoulders.
operating in front of a computer and you've been in front of the device for a long time. This is an easy one. You're sitting down, quickly maneuver that down, and
I
yes.
could see a lot of us doing that, like you said, right when we're working in the
Absolutely.
office in front of the computer. That was awesome. Thank you, Dr. Schmidt.
You're welcome.